Okay. I have to start by saying something because the energy I am feeling around your love life right now is genuinely a lot in the best possible way. It is a lot, and I need you to be ready to hear something that might be slightly overwhelming in the most delightful way imaginable. Welcome. And please try not to panic. You are wanted, not by one person, by several. And I know that might sound like an exaggeration or like something a reader says to make someone feel good. But I need you to understand that I am being completely literal right now. There is more than one person in your orbit who is thinking about you, who wants more of your time, more of your energy, more of whatever it is that you bring to the people around you that makes them want to be near you repeatedly, consistently, without fully understanding why they keep coming back to that particular wanting. You are creating a situation without realizing you are creating it simply by being who you are in the world around the people who cross your path. And the situation is a little chaotic. Whew. I want to explain what I mean by chaotic because I do not mean dangerous. I do not mean drama. I do not mean anything that needs to be managed or resolved or worried about. Chaotic in the most human, slightly absurd, genuinely amusing way. The chaos is simply that multiple people in different parts of your life, at different stages of their own feelings for you, are all in various states of wanting you simultaneously without knowing about each other, without coordinating, without any awareness that they are part of a group. It is a little bit like being in a room where several conversations are happening at once, all directed at you, and you are just standing there, existing, being you, completely unaware of the noise around you that you are somehow causing just by being present. That is the chaos, and it is entirely your fault in the best possible way. I want to describe what is happening with a few of these people because I think naming them, even in general terms, will help you recognize who I am talking about. When you think about the people currently in your world, there is someone older in the mix or the same age, someone who has known you for some time, who has been quietly admiring you in that particular way that people admire from a safe distance when they are not yet sure their feelings would be welcome. This person is the slow burn, the one who has been building something internally over time without saying it, without acting on it, but whose feelings have been growing steadily with the particular patience of someone who is willing to wait for the right moment. There may be someone from your past, someone who has been thinking about you in that specific way that people think about someone they let go and regret. Not dramatically, but in the quiet way, where something will remind them of you. And the reminder brings with it a question, a wondering about what might have been or what might still be possible. And then there is the younger one. Um, I want to spend time here on the younger one because they are the most interesting part of this energy. And I think you need to understand what you have done to them because I am not sure you fully realize this younger person has found in you something they have been looking for without knowing they were looking in their own world with the people their own age or people in their own immediate orbit. Something has been missing, something they could not name, a particular depth, a particular groundedness, a particular way of being in the world. That makes everything feel more real, more substantial, more worth paying attention to. And then they encountered you, and there it was. The thing they could not name, suddenly, right there, in front of them, in the form of a person who makes the world feel different, in the best possible way. They are fascinated, is the right word, not in a shallow way, in the way that someone is fascinated by something they cannot fully explain. That keeps pulling at their attention, even when they try to direct it elsewhere, even when logic says, this is not practical, this is complicated, this might not make sense. And still, there you are, in their thoughts, uninvited, undeniable, persistent. I want to tell you something specific about what this younger person feels. When they are around you, or when they think about you, because I think it will make you smile, and also possibly make you slightly uncomfortable in the way that being genuinely admired sometimes does. They feel like they need to be better when they are around you, not because you demand it, not because you criticize, not because you have any expectation of them whatsoever, but because your presence, simply existing in the same space, makes the lesser version of themselves feel somehow inadequate, not in a painful way, in the way that being around someone who has figured something out makes you want to figure it out too. You are raising their standard without trying, without knowing, simply by being who you are in front of them. And they find that irritating and compelling in equal measure, which, if you understand anything about how attraction works, is exactly the recipe for someone who cannot stop thinking about you. Now I want to come back to the bigger picture, the full, chaotic, delightful scene of multiple people wanting you at once, and what that actually means for you beyond the flattery of it. What this situation is reflecting back to you is something about your energy, something about what you put into the world, something about the specific quality of your presence that creates this kind of response. In people who encounter it, you do not do anything to create this. You do not perform magnetism. You do not try to be this. You simply are, and what you are produces this without effort, without strategy, without you even being fully aware it is happening. Let me tell you what that quality is, so you can understand what these people are responding to, because I think you have been underestimating it. You are real, In a world where most people perform, where most people manage how they are perceived, where most interactions have a layer of presentation between the person and the world, you show up without that layer, or with less of it than most. You are simply, genuinely, authentically yourself, and people are starving for that more than they know, more than they would be able to tell you. If you ask them what it is about you that keeps pulling them back, they would struggle to name it, but they feel it. Every time they are around you or think about you, the relief of something real. In a very performed world, I want to address something now that you might be feeling as you listen to this, because I know you, and I know that hearing this much about how many people want you does not just produce uncomplicated joy. It probably produces a question, a very practical one. What am I supposed to do with this? And I want to give you a real answer, not a spiritual bypass, not a everything will work out perfectly, a real answer. You do not have to do anything with this right now. You do not have to pick someone. You do not have to manage the situation. You do not have to feel guilty about the fact that multiple people are moving toward you simultaneously. You did not orchestrate this. You cannot be responsible for other people's feelings, even when those feelings are about you. What you can do is pay attention to your own feelings, to what you actually want, to who you actually feel something real for, rather than who simply wants you. Because being wanted is not the same as wanting back. And you deserve the experience of wanting and being wanted simultaneously, rather than simply receiving interest without it being returned with equal energy. Who do you want? That is the question worth asking. And it may have a surprising answer. Who? I want to say one more thing about the younger one, because I think they deserve their own moment in this message. There is something particularly pure about what they feel for you, something that has not yet been complicated by years of accumulated disappointments, by the protective layers that form over time, by the managed caution of someone who has been hurt enough to stop feeling things fully. What they feel completely without the filters, without the hedging, with the full force of someone who has not yet learned that feeling things fully is risky, and that purity of feeling has its own particular power. It reaches things in you that more guarded expressions of interest cannot quite reach, because it does not ask you to be careful with it. It just arrives full and warm and real without the armor that usually comes with attraction. Notice that when you feel it, because you will feel it if you have not already. Let me close with something that I think you need to hear. Underneath all of the chaos and the humor and the delightful absurdity of this situation, you have been unsure of yourself in love for a while, maybe for longer than you would admit. You have wondered if you are too much or not enough, or difficult to love, um, or whatever particular version of self-doubt lives in you. When it comes to romantic connection, this situation, this chaotic, slightly overwhelming, genuinely amusing situation where multiple people want you simultaneously, is the universe being very loud and very clear about something you have not been willing to believe quietly. You are lovable, deeply, genuinely, by multiple people at once, without trying, without performing, without being anything other than exactly who you already are. Let that land, past the humor of it, past the chaos of it, into something that actually changes how you see yourself in love. You are not hard to love. You are not too complicated. You are not someone who has to settle for whoever shows up. Because the right person would never stay. You are, apparently, and I say this with complete warmth and significant amusement, the person that everyone is trying to get the attention of, including someone younger, who has decided you are worth the complication, worth the uncertainty, worth whatever it takes to be near you. Receive that, all of it, with gratitude, without guilt, and with the quiet confidence of someone who finally understands what all the fuss is about